What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, another film study, another breakdown. Let's break it down. We have the most highly anticipated fight in 40 years. Definitely the most anticipated fight in the last 10 to 15 years since Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather fought in 2015. With that said, we have a highly anticipated, undefeated, undisputed lightweight showdown that's going to feature two top 5 pound-for-pound best fighters in the world. One in which is undefeated, unified, 3-belt, WBA, WBC, IBF welterweight world champion, superstar boxer, who is widely considered by many to be top 2, if not number 1, definitely top 5 pound-for-pound best fighters in the world, in Errol "The Truth" Spence Jr. Errol Spence Jr. is 28 wins, no loss, no draw, 22 big wins by way of knockout, 33 years of age, 5'9.5" with a 72-inch arm reach. With that said, this video is going to surround around Errol Spence and his abilities. But nonetheless, he's going to face off against undefeated, 3-division world champion, former undisputed junior welterweight world champion, currently the reigning WBO, World Boxing Organization welterweight world champion, superstar boxer who is widely considered by many to be the number 1 best pound-for-pound fighter in the world in Terence "Bud" Crawford. Terence Crawford has a record of 39 wins, no loss, no draw, 30 big wins by way of knockout, 35 years of age, 5'8" with a 74-inch arm reach. With that said, they're going to fight July 29th, Las Vegas, Nevada, T-Mobile Arena. And everybody's drawing straws trying to figure out whether you're neutral fighter to this, fan to this, you have a neutral approach to this, and you favor nobody, but you just want to see a great fight, you're still trying to draw straws. Whether you favor Errol Spence or Terence Crawford, you're a fan of either one, you're trying to figure out who has an advantage. In this particular video, we're going to talk about Errol Spence being the eye collector, how Errol Spence damages a lot of his opponent's eyes, how he breaks down his opponent's eyes, how he breaks down his opponents physically. And we're going to start with Chris Algieri, which took place April 2016, April 16th, 2016 to be exact. And he got a TKO knockout victory over Chris Algieri. Just dominating and brutally beating up Chris Algieri. And once again, we have another opponent whose eye was damaged. Okay? Chris Algieri is a mover. Chris Algieri is a slick boxer. Chris Algieri was a world champion that could take punishment. And Chris Algieri suffered a right eye injury, right? His right eye was injured in this fight. Chris Algieri's right eye. And then you go on to the next opponent, okay, that Errol Spence damaged his eye, which is Lamont Peterson, okay? He damaged Lamont Peterson's eye, right? Now, Lamont Peterson's eye was Lamont Peterson's left eye, okay? He damaged Lamont Peterson's left eye. Then we know he fought Special K Kell Brook in the UK, okay? And he broke Kell Brook's left eye, right? Then he defended it against Lamont Peterson. So first was Chris Algieri, then Kell Brook, then Lamont Peterson, right? Then he goes on to damage the eye of Danny Garcia, left eye, Yordenis Ugas' eye as well, right? So he's been on a tangent just breaking down his opponents. Now, Yordenis Ugas, he caught it the worst. Yordenis Ugas, he broke Yordenis Ugas' ribs, nose, and orbital bone. Okay? So he truly, truly broke down Yordenis Ugas. But Errol Spence, 3 of these opponents suffered left eye injuries, 2 suffered right eye injuries. Right? And many people, they truly don't understand the science behind Errol Spence doing damage to his opponents. Chris Algieri was his right eye. Yordenis Ugas was his right eye. Lamont Peterson's left eye. Danny Garcia's left eye. And Kell Brook's left eye. So the first came Chris Algieri. Second was Kell Brook. Third was Lamont Peterson. Fourth was Danny Garcia. Fifth was Yordenis Ugas. And now he's going to fight against Terence Bud Crawford for his WBO title. Now keep in mind, Kell Brook, Yordenis Ugas was for titles. Kell Brook was his first title opportunity, May of 2017. Yordenis Ugas was April of 2022. But they both was for titles. Kell Brook was his first title opportunity in the UK in hostile environment. Yordenis Ugas was his last fight in his hometown of Dallas at AT&T Dallas Cowboys Stadium. And everybody don't understand the science behind how Errol Spence projects these injuries and his punishment on these opponents. Well, I'm here to tell you why and explain to you why. Errol Spence is a natural southpaw. Now, he's going up against Terence Crawford. The one opponent he didn't damage and do much damage to was a guy who I consider to be the best athlete of his era, with the best feet of his era, the highest work rate of his era, and arguably the toughest of his era, and 2-time welterweight world champion, superstar boxer, now retired future Hall of Famer, in Showtime Shawn Porter. Shawn Porter's low center of gravity. Shawn Porter's head is always moving. Shawn Porter has very active feet. He showed at times he was turning Errol Spence, confusing Errol Spence. He has the best feet in boxing. He just don't have power. And he hurt Errol Spence, buzzed him because he caught him off guard a few times. But again, Shawn Porter doesn't have power. So he's the one guy that was able to escape without taking the punishment that these other 5 gentlemen took. Why is that? Why is it 2 guys that suffered right eye injuries and 3 guys that suffered left eye injuries? Because I did a breakdown yesterday on Terence Crawford and how Terence Crawford can knock out Errol Spence and beat Errol Spence from the orthodox stance. One thing in particular I stated is that Terence Crawford in the orthodox stance has to escape to his left, away from Errol Spence's power hand. Most southpaws don't have good right hands. On the contrary, Errol Spence has a very good right hand to a great jab and right hook. So you teach your orthodox fighters, Lamont Peterson, okay, Danny Garcia, Kell Brook, escape to your left. Well, they escaped into Errol Spence's jab and right hook. The other 2 fighters, Chris Algieri, Yordenis Ugas, attempted to stand in front of Errol Spence or at times escape to their right, which is his left. That's why they show the effects from their right eyes being injured. Right? Yordenis Ugas attempted to stand in the pocket and then step to his right, which was stepping into Errol Spence's power hand. Hence the reason why it's their right eye. So the other 3 guys attempted to escape to their left, but he has a very good jab and a very good right hook. Ultimately, it boils down to Errol Spence's fundamentals and consistency. Errol Spence is like a torture method. You ever heard of that torture method where they say a drop of water on your forehead can ultimately take you out and drive you up the wall? Why? Because you're tied down and that drop of water hits the same exact spot over and over and over and over and over again till it actually could go through your head. Consistency. It don't have to be the hardest. It just has to consistently hit the mark over and over and over and over and over again. And Errol Spence is the definition of consistency. He's going to hit the same mark over and over and over and over again. And he has an extremely high work rate. He's fundamentally sound, and he doesn't put himself out of position very often. Not to mention, he's big, he's strong, and he's powerful. So you factor all of those things in with his consistency to stay disciplined, his consistency to stay disciplined with his feet, his consistency to stay disciplined with his jab continuously. He's not going to go long stretches of fights without using his jab and his right hook. So he forces you into what he does great, which is his consistency. He forces you to make mistakes with his physical and mental pressure and his consistency. It forces you to make mistakes because he's very good at what he does. So he hits the mark over and over and over and over again, whether it's with his right jab and right hook or with his left hand, which is his power hand. Hence the reason why he has done the damage he's done to these fighters in these fights. Hence the reason he didn't do that damage to Sean Porter. Why? Because Sean Porter consistently confused Errol Spence, consistently was using a high work rate, consistently was getting his head off the line, consistently changing the channel. Remember, what did I tell y'all Terence Crawford has to do? Consistently change the channel. When I say change the channel, I mean give him a different look. Force him to be inactive. Force him to stop and think. Sean Porter, with his movement, sometimes be on attack. Sometimes he'll dart back out. Sometimes he'll dart to his left and right. Disrupt Errol Spence's consistency. If you cannot disrupt his consistency, the end results for Terence Crawford would be a broken eye socket, whether it's the right one or the left one, period. So let's see how this unfolds July 29th, Las Vegas, Nevada, T-Mobile Arena. That's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. I'm gone. Peace.